Okay, we're a little off the road here, which is better. I could speak a little bit lower. This is the only remaining wall of the Kennith Meeting House. This wall right here was probably built when the meeting house was erected in 1710. Well, this isn't green serpentine stone this time. This is probably a local quarry in the area. It's a Chester County stone also. Now this wall is significant in that Maxwell's Light Infantry made a stand here. They knew that the British were coming down the road. They saw them. They were ready for them. They stood here in a line just like they did over at Birmingham Meeting House. But Birmingham Meeting House had more individuals. Maxwell's Light Infantry was probably between 200 to 500, possibly 200 to 500 people. Now this was wooded at the time, not this general area, but the outskirts of this area was generally a wooded area. They would have lined up in ranks, roads, all down this wall that you see right here, all the way down to the present road. Now, that road in front of us, the Kings Highway, Baltimore Pike, or Route 1, was, like I said before, was a main artery. Now that was a 1 or possibly 2-lane dirt road. It was used for carts, and it went right into Chad's Ford. Now, we'll get into this later, but you had to cross the Chad's Ford to get over to the other side of Route 1. But generally, on the other side of Route 1, there was another infantry, and Maxwell's Light Infantry was on the other side. So basically, they had withering fire. They had fire from two sides on the British. Now, as the British are coming down, they encounter Ferguson's riflemen, the Queen's Rangers, and some light cavalry and horse. Now they were in the front of the army. They broke. As soon as they knew that there was a defense here, when Maxwell was firing upon them, they broke. They broke in this area. They went west, they went east, they tried to outflank this position again. Maxwell was smart. He knew not to stay here very long. He says, we can't really put up a defense, we don't have the men. And also they had Kentucky rifles. Now, Kentucky rifle was made by Pennsylvanians. These rifles were long, they were accurate, they fired a smaller bore, smaller shot, and they were handmade, they were custom made, and they were also rifled. A rifled gun spins a projectile. Now what that does, it keeps it stable in flight, makes the bullet go a lot further. A smoothbore musket that the British had, and also the Germans had, fired a round ball of 75 caliber to 69 caliber. Now what that did, that ball would bounce in the barrel, go up and down as it came out. And what it would do, it would fire up, down, over, left, or right, so it wasn't accurate. So basically, in this area, Maxwell's Light Infantry had good weapons, excellent weapons for the time, marksmen. They picked off a lot of Germans. They picked off a lot of Ferguson's riflemen in this area. A lot of accounts say that there was a lot of dead here. And that is true, because there is a mass grave here. And if there's a mass grave, there's mass amounts of people that died. Now, like I said, Maxwell wasn't here very long. Their tactics at the time were to hit and run. They would shoot at the British, they would retreat to the woods, they'd shoot at them again, and they did this. They did this from this position here all the way down to Chad's Ford, Pennsylvania, which is about 2 miles to the south along the Baltimore Pike. Now, if you're the British Army and you have Maxwell's Light Infantry harassing you all the time, you're going to be a little bit upset. So they sent their own people out. They sent their light infantry to go attack them. And they chased them into the woods here. They chased them into the woods to the south, and there was many engagements along Route 1 where there was actually very heavy fighting. Now the road behind me is what you see today, was here. This road is the road that they travel on. It's extremely wider today, it's noisy, but back then it was a dirt path. Now this road deviates in a couple ways. It goes past a lot of structures. The road is not exactly where it was. There's called Old Baltimore Pike, and there's New Baltimore Pike. We're going to look at a couple of these and show you where the road was during the time and what buildings that these British, as they advanced towards Chad's Ford, passed. So basically, The British were harassed in this area. I'm going to go over now. I'm going to show you where the mass grave is of these Germans.